guys, this is Carlos Phoenix in Garage, and we're at the Comic-Con in New York City, and I have wanted to see this artist. I've seen her artwork is great. She's got some books out. So please introduce yourself and tell us about your company.
Sure. Hi, my name is Melissa Flores. I'm a writer here at Comic-Con. I have my company's called Cachapa Productions, but I've been writing for about 4 or 5 years. Before that, I was a development executive. That's actually how I got started in the industry.
So now you mentioned you and a few others had worked in another business.
Yeah. So I was a development executive for about 10 plus years for Power Rangers.
Awesome.
So through that, part of my job was being the lore master, basically. So I basically would go through, and anything that had a story that was a little older, that wasn't for kids, that was kind of my department to go through and make sure it was brand appropriate, that it told the best story it could, et cetera, et cetera. It went through my department. And
so that's a good insight.
Exactly. So when Boom Studios got the license for Power Rangers and Kyle Higgins came on board to do the book, he and I got to know each other very, very well. He's obviously brilliant and amazing. If you don't know him, he's doing an incredible DC book right now that's basically Toku meets Batman. He does Radiant Black. He did Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for a really, really long time. He did some Nightwing books. He's incredible.
Very cool.
And he and I, over the years, continued to work together and became friends. And so when I eventually left Power Rangers and switched over to writing, he already had this incredible book called Radiant Black in what we call the Masterverse in Image. And he asked me if I wanted to pitch a series in that universe.
So one thing that fascinated me, especially walking around the floor at the Comic-Con, which is usually a male-dominated type of work environment type of thing. So tell us how it was for you to now enter the comic book world as a woman and as a Latina. So that's one of the important things.
I was luckier than most. I did a lot of my fighting for representation when I was an executive. It was like there were so many times when I was literally the only female or the only minority in the room. And it's still very rare to see a lot of Latino creators doing what I do. But by the time I got to doing comic books, I had a small fan base of Power Ranger fans who already knew me, knew who I was, didn't really look at me as like, the Latina Melissa Flores, as just Melissa Flores, the girl that knows Power Rangers. And Power Ranger fans in general tend to be really open and lovely.
Yeah.
But I remember when I first jumped on the book, we had another writer who's also in the Massiverse. His name is Ryan Parrott. He does Rogue Sun for the Massiverse. He told me, it's like, Melissa, I think you're amazing. I think you're incredible. But just know, because you're a woman, you're always going to get it harder than us, the white guys. And he's like, just be prepared for that. It takes away nothing from who you are. But it's a reality of working in this industry. And I think it's a reality of working anywhere. You're not aware of your color, but other people make you aware of it.
Exactly.
The same thing of your gender. Like there's things that you experience as a woman that other people may not notice, like little passive aggressiveness. I think you just kind of learn to roll with it, which is sad, but it's the reality. And so I'm just here doing what I do. I don't see myself as like a Latina creator in space. But I work really hard in making sure that the stories I tell have that representation in them, not just for Latinas, but for women, for minorities, for people of different sexualities. I call it sneaky representation.
Understood.
Yeah.
Now, so let's get into that. So you guys started this Massiverse.
Yeah.
And tell us about your main character.
Yeah. So this is the Dead Lucky. This is a character named Viviana. So when Kyle told me, like, pick a city, pick a superhero, tell us the superhero story you'd tell, I have a girlfriend who is a war veteran who came back and served. She was a pilot and a medic, and she served multiple missions overseas. And she came back and refused to talk about any of what she did and had very clearly a lot of PTSD, but did never want to talk about it. And every time we tried to talk about it, she just was always like, hey, you won't get it, you're just a civilian. So this is my way, like, this is me trying to get it. And it was a really good way to work with her and have her consult on the book. But the book itself, even though it's loosely inspired by her experiences, it's its own thing. It's called The Dead Lucky. It's about a character named Bibiana, who is a war veteran who loses her squad in a horrific accident in the Jordan, comes back and discovers that the city she grew up with, San Francisco, has been privatized by a company called Morrow. Think of like Google and Blackwater had a baby. That's Morrow. They're running the city for profit, and if it goes well, they're going to expand to different test cities around the country.
San Francisco used to be my home. Special. A safe haven. Not anymore. Morrow wants to turn it into the city of tomorrow. Brought in bots. Trying out next-gen cyberware. It comes with a price. One I'm not willing to pay. My name is Bibi. Used to be a soldier. Had purpose. A team. Now, just a mech. And a ton of survivor's guilt. I'm not a hero, but I'm here, and I'll fight. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a little lucky.
Around the country. And rather than deal with her insane PTSD and these electrical ghost spirits of her squad that are haunting her, she decides she's going to use those ghost spirits to possess a bunch of robots and try and take back her city. So it's very cyberpunk, it's very Blade Runner. It's meant to be San Francisco 5 years from now, but it was very much intentionally like seeped in death culture, in PTSD and mental health, but also very Toku inspired because I wrote Power Rangers, so you see robots and suits and fights, but very close to my heart. The suit itself was designed by an incredible artist named Federico Sabatini, and we purposely designed it as the sugar skull, the calavera. So we kind of subtly paid homage to that because, again, she's haunted by ghosts. It's very much a death culture kind of series. And also, my co-creator on this is French Carlo Magno, who is an incredible artist who brought the book to life for every month. So we ran for 12 issues, and it still does very, very well. I have a lot of people always asking when she's coming back to the universe.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing some success from you and your team. And keep an eye for Massiverse, guys. Check it online. I'm going to try and share the QR code or their website on this episode. We have more to the show. Keep watching. Thank you very much.